What's up everyone, my name's Phantom, and welcome back to day 5 of the daily Phase 5 grind. Today, I wanted to tell you guys the story about how I met Faze Temperr. Let's talk about it.
Coming in, flex, I just wanna win, LA BB who we running with, 2233, I'm on 10 again.
So, before we get into this story, I feel like I should explain a bit about who I am and why I was in LA. So, my name's Robbie, and I've always loved LA. From the movies, from the videos, from everything I've seen about it, it just seems like such a perfect place. The weather's always amazing year-round, and it just has the vibes that I would love to have in a city I live in. This goes for a lot of my friends as well. So, this trip, we've always planned on going to LA, but luckily, one of the artists we've grown up loving, his name's John Bellion. He was performing he had a new album that came out and he was having a concert. Unfortunately, it wasn't in Toronto. We decided this was the perfect opportunity to fly out to LA and also get to go to a John Bellion concert. So the trip was a lot of fun and we were there for about a week and a half. Coming up near the end, we had done all the stuff we wanted to do in LA. And it was about our second day before we left, and we had no idea what to do in the morning. As we were eating our breakfast, we were on our phones, and we actually noticed that Banks and Tommy posted a picture on their Instagram story talking about a missing cat. His name was Leo. This was a cat that they had in the house, and it had ran away, and they were giving a $1,000 reward for anyone that could find him. We had no plans for the day, and the money wasn't really that big of a deal to us, but we figured it'd be a cool opportunity to just go spend the day helping them out and looking for the cat. Unfortunately, I don't have a screenshot of the Instagram story, but somewhere up here I'll pop up a picture of the post that he put up on one of the polls when we got there. So after this, we decided we'd act right away and we got an Uber all the way up to the house. There were 4 of us, so when we first got there, we split into groups of 2. So that we can explore more ground, and find the cat faster. After about 30 or 45 minutes of looking for Leo, we hadn't found anything yet, but Tommy actually pulled up right beside my friend and I, and he was putting up posters. This is the poster, it's the one I showed you guys before. We went up to him to explain that we were looking for the cat and to get more information about Leo. We also took this opportunity to tell him we were from Canada and tell him a bit about ourselves, and he was talking to us for a bit too. He told us about how Leo had a tile on his collar, and a tile is essentially this little clip. You put it on car keys or you put it on your cat's collar, and within a certain range you can get a notification on your phone with an app that'll tell you if you lost the item. This is a good way to track the items like car keys or home keys and stuff like that, just in case you ever lose them. He told us about this app, and then he got our emails so that he can add us onto the account for the tile, so that if we ever came in range of the tile, we would get a notification on our phone and we would be able to see where the cat was. He also gave us his personal number just in case we found anything or we needed to tell him anything, so this was an easier way to contact him. After talking to Tommy, we continued to search for around 3 to 4 hours, but to no avail. We eventually decided it was time to regroup and change our plan. So we met up with our other 2 friends and we were planning on going back to where we started. This way we can look on our phone on Google Maps and figure out where we have explored and where we haven't, so that we can get a better idea of where we should be looking for Leo. This is a good time to explain how we were feeling. We were in Los Angeles on a very hot and sunny day, and we were in the Hollywood Hills exploring for around 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours. We came extremely unprepared for this, as we didn't bring any water or food. And this was very stupid of us. So we'd been walking around the Hollywood Hills in hot temperatures without any water or food, and it was pretty rough, but we were pushing through it. Anyways, on our way back to where we started, we actually had a car drive past us. And this is when Tommy actually recorded us and put us on his Instagram story. He shouted us out and said, "Shout out to the guys from Canada." I'll roll the video right now, but this was actually such a crazy moment for us.
To the homies, for real, they came all the way out here from Canada. They're looking for the cat, bro. I appreciate you guys, for real.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
During this whole situation, we made sure to keep our cool, as we didn't want him to feel uncomfortable or anything. Deep down, we were all just people, and we didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable by doing stuff like talking about his YouTube channel or asking for a picture. We came up here just to help him find his cat, and we understood he was going through a rough time. I truly mean it when I say Tommy is actually a super dope guy. He's super down to earth, and he was extremely grateful for us helping look for Leo. After shouting us out on his IG story, he even offered us some water that he brought in his car. This was super nice of him, and when I say this is probably the best water I've ever had, I actually mean it. This water tasted so good, and I feel like it was because we've been outside in the sun all day without anything. When we drank this water, I'm telling you, it felt so nice and it was so refreshing. Anyways, we talked to Tommy for a bit longer, and then we continued to walk down the street so we could regroup where we began. Once we regrouped where we began, it was time to start planning a new tactic on how we were going to look for Leo. We noticed that there was a reservoir just up the street from the Faze House that we hadn't checked yet. This was close to the house, so there was a good chance that Leo could have been here. So we decided we would head there next. As we were walking across the reservoir, I actually remembered this reservoir from an old vlog that they had on the channel. I'll roll a clip quickly, but it was when Tfue was jumping off the bridge with the other Faze guys, when Faze Adapt was too scared to do it. This was the bridge that we were walking across.
Wake up the pussy and eggs, they be scrambled. Everything lit, everything lit, everything lit like a candle. Oh, she give me head like some dandruff. Everything it is so random. Love and rage, it is so random. Love and rage, it is so random.
So we continued to walk across that bridge and walk down the path after the bridge. But as we continued to walk down this path, we started noticing signs on the sides of the path that said, "Beware of rattlesnakes." Now, to explain this situation a bit better, me and all of my friends are from Canada. And where we grew up, the biggest snake we have are these like little tiny garden snakes. Now, a rattlesnake is significantly more than that. So we had to be wary of where we were, and none of us like snakes. So we did not want to get in a situation where we had to deal with one. So we continued to walk down the path a bit more before deciding that it would just be safer turning around. We didn't want to deal with any rattlesnakes, and we'd already walked pretty far down the path. If we hadn't got the notification from the tile yet about Leo, we didn't think he would be any further. After walking back across the reservoir, we were actually pretty tired and dehydrated. Our phone batteries were also getting pretty low, which we kind of needed as that was our only way to order the Uber to get back to our place. We texted Tommy at this point to let him know that we needed to go charge our phones and get some water. Like I said before, Tommy is a super chill dude, and he told us that if we were close, we could pull up to the Faze House and he would just give us some water instead. So we pulled up to the Faze House, and he came outside with 2 big water bottles and this big bag of granola for us to have. This was super nice of him, and it was so nice to have this after a long day of looking for Leo. This was also a good chance for us to sit down and talk to Tommy a bit more, and get to know more about the situation, and also get to know more about him. I'll roll a video somewhere around here of what the Faze House looked like from the outside. I'm pretty sure all of you guys have seen it. It was the old Faze House, but it was super crazy, and it was so nice being there. As we were sitting there, Tommy also got the opportunity to explain to us more about Leo and what actually happened, how he got out. And this was actually a really messed up story. So Leo jumped from the 2nd story of the Faze House. He jumped off the balcony, and that's how he got out, and then he ran away. After hearing this, we figured that Leo would actually be closer to the house than we thought. We'd looked around all the neighborhoods pretty far from the house, but we never actually looked in depth around the house. So we took this opportunity to look a bit closer to the house and look more around the general area to see if we could find Leo. Tommy also gave us some cat food, so this would be a good chance for us to like put cat food down and see if we could get Leo to come out if he was hiding, because he'd never seen us before. Just down the hill in front of the house, there was a little roundabout for the cars. We headed down there and we planted the food around the roundabout, and we spent the last couple hours of the night waiting to see if Leo would come out. This was the biggest area pretty close to the house, and previously before we had heard noises in this area that we thought might be Leo. So this was our best bet, and we figured this would be a good way to just stake out and see if we can get Leo to come out from the bushes, as he hadn't eaten all day. Unfortunately, at this point, it was getting pretty late. We'd been waiting a couple hours, but to no avail, Leo didn't come out, and all of our phones, pretty much all of our phones were dead. I used my last bit of battery to order an Uber for us, and I let Tommy know. I texted Tommy to let him know that we had to head out because our phones were almost dead. I told him that if they still hadn't found Leo by the morning, we would head back there and help out again. Fortunately, not long after we left, someone actually came across Leo not far from the house. This was super fortunate, and I'm so glad that they found Leo that night, as there was rattlesnakes and stuff up in the hills, and coyotes, and it's just a very dangerous place for a cat to be out alone. This day will still go down in history as probably one of the most amazing days in my life, and it was just such a crazy experience being there in the Hollywood Hills and getting to meet Tommy. The vibe and feeling you get in LA is just so unexplainable, and you have to experience it for yourself. This is something I'm trying to feel every single day, and that is why I'm planning on taking this YouTube thing to the next level and eventually moving there permanently. Once I can figure out an income and a visa, I promise I will be living in LA. It's just way too nice to pass up. Anyways, my name's Phantom, and I hope you enjoyed this story. Faze means so much to me, and I would love to become a part of the clan, so if you enjoyed this, please start using #FazePhantom everywhere, and share this with a friend. Just by interacting with this video, you are making my dream more likely, and maybe I'll get the chance to become one of the Faze 5. Anyways, I will see you all again tomorrow. Faze out.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Feel I'm in the mood for a change up.